Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wheaton Academy's first ever virtual coffee house. I'm Madison,
And I'm Caleb.
and we're going to be your hosts for this evening.
We are so excited to be able to connect with you guys, not only as a school, but also as a community, especially during a time like this where we are just so disconnected. Tonight we have a real treat for you. We have 16 different submissions of all kind of variety, from classical instrumental pieces to more modern pieces such as dance and even a few poems.
But before we get started, we just want to encourage you guys to leave comments on the side. We'd love to hear from you where you're watching this from. Did you and your family decide to take an impromptu road trip, or are you just comfy at home? And we would love to hear who you're watching with, and most of all, just the responses you have throughout the show.
We'll be reading your comments all throughout this show and responding to some of them, particularly the ones we find insightful, thought-provoking, or even just straight up funny. And now, without further ado, we're going to be featuring our first performance by sophomore Caroline Helmer performing Blackbird on the guitar. Wow, what a great piece to start off with. You know, I must confess, I've never been a huge Beatles guy, but that was just a solid song overall. And thank you, Olivia. I appreciate your pride.
Yeah, that was a wonderful job by Caroline Helmer. I play tennis with her, and I know that she has a mean forehand, but I had no idea that she could hold her own on a guitar. And also, Anna Solberg, oh, thank you so much for the support. I love you, girl. And Caleb, I just wanted to ask, how could you have never listened to the Beatles?
For starters, the name the Beatles just kind of set me off edge.
Ah.
I'm not a huge fan of insects myself, so a band named after them didn't seem very appealing to me. Well, coming at you next, we have another guitar piece played by Greta Gustafsson, a current freshman here at Wheaton Academy.
Well, that was a beautiful song by Greta. I didn't know she played the guitar either, but that's one of the great things about these events. You get to learn different things about different people. Oh, and Mr. McCallum is apparently talent scouting tonight. Greta, he would love for you to play on their Google meeting sometime, so keep that in mind.
Mr. McCallum is quite a good town scout because Greta was very good. I really appreciate that just as a freshman, she was so willing to just jump right in and just show all of us the talent God has given her.
I agree. And luckily for us tonight, we got submissions from all grades. Next up is senior Kelsey Benware singing the song In My Dreams from the musical Anastasia.
They said I was found by the side of a road. There were tracks all around. It had recently snowed. In the darkness and cold, with the wind in the trees, a girl with no name and no memories but these. Rain against a window, sheets upon a bed, terrifying nurses whispering overhead. Call the child, Anya, give the child a hat. I don't know a thing before that. Traveling the back roads, sleeping in the wood, taking what I needed, working when I could, keeping up my courage, foolish as it seems, at night all alone in my dreams. In my dreams, it's all real, and my heart has so much to reveal, and my dreams fade away, but I know it all will come back one day. I dream of a city beyond all compare. Is it Paris? Paris, a beautiful river, a bridge by a square. Then I hear a voice whisper, I'll meet you right there in Paris. You don't know what it's like not to know who you are, to have lived in the shadows and traveled this far. I've seen flashes of fire, heard the echo of screams, but I still have this faith in the truth of my dreams. In my dreams, it's all real, and my heart has so much to reveal, and my dreams seem to say, don't be afraid to go on, don't give up hope, come what may. I know it all will come back
Whoa, I'm getting a little choked up. That was so good. I cannot stress enough just how talented and how expressive Kelsey is as a singer. And I'm gonna be honest, Anastasia is definitely one of my favorite musicals, and I would love to see it on Broadway. Unfortunately, right now, Broadway is shut down due to this whole pandemic thing. So I love that Kelsey is still out here, giving it credit, even amidst this crisis.
Yeah, thank you, Kelsey. Wow is pretty much my expression to anything Kelsey sings. I mean, you guys just saw her recently in the spring musical as Mrs. Potts. Any character she plays, anything she sings is definitely my cup of tea.
That was a good one, Madison. Madison, while we're on this topic of just like Broadway and musicals, I was
Mhm.
wondering, what is your favorite musical?
Well, I don't know how anyone could just pick one, but I would say my two favorite would have to be Dear Evan Hansen and Wicked.
Oh, those are some good ones. And I hear there may be something from Wicked being performed tonight. Well,
Really?
guys, yeah. Well, up next we have a kind of Troy Bolton situation with Mr. Jack Lichty, a soccer player here at Wheaton Academy, playing Nocturne in E flat major.
Well, that was a beautiful song, and let's take a look at some of these comments. Mr. Hogan is asking, Jack, who knew? It truly is unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, Jack's a standout soccer player, and then we see him perform a piece like this. It's incredible.
And it just leads me to question what other students out there have talents that we don't even know about? And to that, I would encourage all of you guys to submit some of those things next time we do this.
Oh,
Oh,
and Jillian has commented here that song will never get old. Definitely. I mean, I loved it. And it's like one of those songs where you know you've heard it before, and it's always so nice to come back with it. And
oh,
now,
it is.
transition. Oh, yes. Go ahead, Caleb.
Oh, I'm not, sorry. Yeah, it's just such a great song. Oh, Jacob Schumann is virtual coffee provided during this virtual coffee house. Actually, yes, virtual coffee will be provided. We have a 3-minute virtual coffee break coming up soon.
Yeah, so look forward to that. Next up, we have our first dance of the night. Hadley Williams will be dancing to the song My Prayer for You.
For anyone who's prayed 1,000 prayers and still can't find the answer anywhere, fighting off the lie that no one cares. For anyone who's out there losing hope, feeling you're forsaken and alone, clinging to the last strands of your rope. May God give you eyes to see He's still greater, courage to rise and believe He's able. May God be your peace in the fire you're walking through. This is my prayer now. This is my prayer for you. For all of those with tired and weary souls, still have faith to ask for miracles, choosing to believe He's in control. May your eyes be ever on the Lord, your helper. May you find your refuge in the Lord, your shelter. May you find Him closer than a brother all your days. All of your days, may God give you eyes to see, still greater, courage to rise and believe He's able. May God be your peace in the fire you're walking through. This is my prayer now. This is my prayer for you.
Wow, what an impressive dance. I must say, it was just so good, and I love that she was on the street. That takes a lot of guts, and I gotta be honest, it was just really impressive to see her pull it off very well. I myself actually took Intro to Dance with Mrs. Wolfel, and I remember Mrs. Wolfel always talking about expression and how you can tell stories with your dancing, and I must say, Hadley was really able to do that.
Yeah, that was wonderful. So fun to watch, and especially after we saw that chapel with Elisa Turner singing that song. I remember being so moved just by her singing, but then to see Hadley dance to this piece, it's truly inspirational. Oh, and Connor was also asking Hadley if you could teach him to dance. That's high praise coming from him.
That's true. Well, next up, we have not only an ultimate frisbee legend, but also an amazing vocalist, Stephen Chen, performing Wayfaring Stranger.
I am a poor wayfaring stranger, a wandering through this world of woe. Yet there's no sickness, dwell no danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my Father. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know my way is rough and steep, but golden fields lie just before me, where God's redeemed shall ever sleep. I'm going home to see my mother and all my loved ones who've gone on. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home.
I loved that. Steven has a great voice. He's singing a cappella, and this is his second language. That's amazing. Good job.
Yeah, that was incredible. And Abby, I too am wondering, Steven, when are we going to be getting your album? But in all seriousness, he really was just phenomenal, especially a cappella. That takes some guts, and he really pulled it off. And he has such a nice, rich tone and warmth to his voice that just made it so pleasant to listen to.
In the spirit of this next video, we would like to ask, what is your favorite book? And feel free to comment off to the side. Next up is Hannah Crow reading a poem she wrote based off of Fahrenheit 451.
This is a poem I wrote about Fahrenheit 451. What is a world without tension? It is called living in a lie. If you fill your head with billboards, magazines, commercials, the truth will become non-existent. Minds must be intimate, creative, limitless, in order for magic to happen. If you glaze over the truth, it will get foggy, hazy, muddied. The truth will be pushed so far down, it will reside only in dreams. Careless to think that truth is what makes people unhappy. The only thing that keeps us sane is the cold, drowning, life-giving truth. It waits for those who are smart enough to find it. It begs, pleads, yearns to be known. If life is solely lies, the drugs, sex, addiction pours in. It races through your bloodstream, sucking, clawing, nagging at everything, screaming at you to stop. It loosens up at your ability to become evil, lonely, destructive. It hides in innocent, shiny things, then pounces like a bloodthirsty lion, ready to seduce its next victim. Truth is the only way to fight, defeat, conquer. Without truth, there is nothing to do but wait for the moment you get devoured.
Wow, I have literal chills right now. That was a phenomenal piece. Like that was so good, Hannah. And I love the eloquent way you were able to tackle like some of humanity's biggest flaws.
Yeah, I mean, the juniors just read Fahrenheit 451 for English, and I loved that book. But it was so nice to see Hannah just take her poetic interpretation and share it with us. And I also especially loved her emphasis on truth and its importance in our lives, just to fuse meaning into it. And I mean, as Christians, we know the truth is what sets us free, it doesn't limit us. So, really good reminder.
Speaking of limits, next up we have someone who I believe has no limits, at least musically. Next up we have Val Turdina performing a piece by Mozart.
Hi, I'm Val, and I'm gonna play Theme and Variations by Mozart on the clarinet, accompanied by Mr. Steve Williamson.
was so good. It was so nice to hear Mr. Williamson's accompaniment, and Val killed it on the clarinet, of course, which is one of, yes, 7 instruments that I believe she plays.
Yeah, including clarinet. She also plays saxophone and violin and a few others. And she actually picked up flute in just a few weeks to play in the pit for our recent production of Little Shop of Horrors, which is just incredible. On top of that, she was also all sectional with our Quiz Bowl team led by Mr. Jasper, which is just incredible. Like, there's no end to the talent that Val brings to this school. Well, now it is time for our 3-minute intermission where you guys feel free to go grab your own drinks. Please, down below, leave what drinks you like in the comments, and we'll be sure to comment on those. Well, we'll see you soon. Greetings and salutations. I'm Caleb Cruz,
And I'm Madison Brown.
and you're watching WaTV's first ever virtual coffee house. If you're just joining us now, please feel free to leave comments down below, and we'll try to talk about those as the videos keep coming.
Also, we just wanted to give a shout out. It is Mr. Thornton's birthday today. So we thought it would be a great idea if everyone messaged him just to let him know how awesome we think he is.
Yeah, Mr. Thornton is truly just such a great teacher and person. Well, without further ado, we present our first and only visual art piece by Christina Lundquist. process to watch. I gotta be honest, I just love the way that she was able to mix many different kinds of artistic mediums and just bring it all together, especially to kind of make light of a dark situation that we're all living in right now. I just want to give all of you guys out there a shout out for still being able to come together with us tonight to celebrate our community.
Hey there, Caleb. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And I just wanted to say that visual art piece was wonderful. If I had any drawing talent, I would definitely attempt that. And yeah, Mr. McCallum has that live stream running after this to showcase his art. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah, and Mr. McCallum is just an incredible artist, so I would just double up there and encourage you guys to go watch that. Well, up next for you guys, we have a very special treat. Many of you guys who participate in the fine arts program here at Wheaton Academy may know Mrs. Marr, an incredibly talented vocalist, pianist, and vocal coach. Well, she took the time out of her day to record her own piece and submit it to us. This is Sellout.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Another day has flown away. Added to the pile of yesterdays, with 100,000 more yesterdays to come. And when it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I just wanna go to sleep, but I can't just go to sleep. 'Cause when I'm alone in my room, this aching resumes. See, there's this feeling inside me, something is missing, a longing in my soul. Maybe somewhere is the sunshine, the question my heart knows. What's the point of this life?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sending that in. It was wonderful to hear Mrs. Marr and her husband singing together. Oh, and let's see what Mrs. Burek has to say. Oh, her and Mr. Burek could possibly do a duet. Well, if you guys promise that, then we will definitely promise another virtual coffee house.
Yeah, and some of you other guys out in the comments have been picking up on just like the emotion expression in that piece. And a little fun fact for you guys: it was actually performed at their wedding, and Mrs. Marr herself has "sellout" engraved in her ring. You know, after hearing that lovely duet, I can only wonder: does Mrs. Marr coach her husband too?
Good question, Caleb. I don't know. Yeah, well, that's definitely a tough act to follow, but Emma Freshke is sure gonna try, and I can tell you guys you're definitely gonna enjoy this piece. Next up, Emma's going to play Bach Cello Suite number 1.
Well, I sure loved hearing those fresh tunes from Emma Freshkey.
Good one,
But
Caleb.
in all seriousness, that was such a beautiful piece. And in my humble opinion, the cello is one of the most beautiful instruments, and Emma just did a phenomenal job of capturing that beauty.
Yeah, that was a wonderful performance by Emma Freshke. It's one of those videos. It makes me want to learn the cello, and yeah, the instrument is absolutely beautiful. And I see there is popular demand, Emma, for you to make an album now. So please.
Although I must disagree, I would like the first copy of the album, if that's okay with Connor. Well, up
Oh,
next, we have an incredibly talented duo, and no, you're not seeing double. This is Kenna and McCall Tolman singing Wicked's For Good.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? Because I knew you. I have been changed for good. It well may be that we may never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made from what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever ways our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown off its mooring by a wind of the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say that I've been changed for the better? Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes by the wind of the sea, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say that I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. Because I knew you. Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed for good.
Well, that was some wicked good singing done by the Tolman twins. And oh, Mr. Holtrop, I totally agree. I love the musical Wicked, and that was just a wonderful song. Good job, guys. And did you guys know that Kenna was named All-State for ILMEA this year, while McCall was in the ACDA Regional Honors Choir?
Yeah, that's so impressive. They are just so talented vocally, and yeah, Hannah, I agree. That is such a great sister song. You know, Wicked is such a popular musical, and it was wonderful to get them here get to hear them sing that, even if it was just for this moment.
That was great, Caleb. Now, don't
Thank you.
despair, all you classical musical fans, all you classical music fans, because up next we have the one and only Caleb Rathbun playing Arabesque number 1.
from one Caleb to another, I gotta say that was a gorgeous piece, and it was such a skillful representation of all of your talent. That was just so good. And Mr. Felinski, I have to agree, those were a ton of notes, and he played them fantastically.
Yeah, the music looked a bit intimidating, but Caleb did wonderful. He's obviously very talented instrumentally, and him and the other seniors have been great leaders this year for our school. So hopefully, we'll get to spend more time with them before graduation.
Well, next up, we have another rendition of Lagrima from another talented freshman. Everyone, give it up in your socially distant houses for Luke Diedrich.
Well, I have not heard this song ever before, and now I've heard it twice in one night, but I'm not complaining. That was amazing. And also, I believe Luke is on Tech Crew. I think Miss Burek saying that. Yeah, so it's wonderful to see everyone, all these people that have different talents.
Yeah, and on top of that, I'm in band with Luke, and he is quite the phenomenal trumpet player. So it's so much fun to see him play other things equally as skillfully. And I must speak to his developed taste of interior design, as those guitars on the back wall were quite amazing.
Yeah, I loved those guitars, the different colors, electric and acoustic. Well, next we'll be virtually venturing outside for the last time to see Helena Vachev dance to a song called The Heart is Deceitful.
The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. All right. I'll tell you the truth. Please, allow me to show you something.
That was incredible. I want to bring up what I said earlier again, because Helena just also really encaptures the expression and the storytelling part of dance, and she's so deliberate in her movements. It was just everything about that was just so good.
Yeah, that was so cool. It's so nice to see Helena dancing. She's one of the principal dancers on Furnace, I believe, and she's just so good, so creative, and so talented.
Yeah, and Hannah, me too. Even just after 2 seconds, I just really enjoyed watching Helena dance. She just did so well. And now, last but certainly not least, we have someone who I am proud to call my friend performing his original piece. This is Christian Rook playing The Weight of Glory.
There's a longing that's stirred inside my heart, a secret that's hidden, and it's trying to take me deeper in to the mystery. We see the stream, but we can't see the fount until we are bitten. It's the scent of a flower we've not found. It draws us on. There's a weight that is inside my soul, and it gets drawn up sometimes. It's my desire for where I'm meant to be. It's a place that I'll call home, where I'll finally turn and see. Where I'll finally turn and see. It's the echo of notes that we've not heard, a tune that is foreign from the beauty and memories of our past. We hear the call. There's a weight that is inside my soul, and it gets drawn up sometimes. It's my desire, where I'm meant to be. It's a place that I'll go home, where I'll finally turn and see. We will know the melody. We will find the garden. The door we've been knocking on will open up at last, and oh, we'll be fulfilled. Everything will be fulfilled this time. Will be fulfilled. There's a weight that is inside my soul, and it gets pulled up sometimes. It's my desire for where I'm meant to be. It's a place that I'll call home, where I'll finally turn and see. Where His glory I will see.
That was incredible. This guy's gonna be famous someday. I didn't know that Christian could sing like that. I didn't know he could play the guitar like that. And just seeing him put both together was very impressive.
Yeah, I've been friends with him for a pretty long time now, and I knew he was good. I didn't know he was that good. That was just, oh, the emotion he puts into it, and just like the skillfully way he plays the guitar, and just the expression. It's just, oh, it's so good, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future. Well, that's all we have for you tonight. Please feel free to share this link with your family, with your friends. And we'd like to encourage you, especially during this time where we may feel isolated, just to stay connected. You can do that by watching our WA TV videos put out every Monday or watching chapels that are happening twice a week. We just love to say a huge thank you for all of you guys who sent in videos. I know that was a big risk, and this is something we've never done before. And obviously, there were a few hiccups, but we'd like to thank all of you guys for sticking with us through that. And again, to those people who submitted, especially during this hard time, just thank you so much for sharing your gifts with us.
Yeah, and we also, if we end up doing another one of these virtual coffee houses, we would love to see even more submissions next time. This was amazing, though, a great way to just share our talents with the community. And we want to give a special thanks to everyone who participated in the comments. It was so fun interacting with you guys tonight. And an especially big thank you to Mr. Hockett, Mr. Skiba, Miss Spittler, Mrs. Burek, and all the other people involved who made this event possible.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. And please, Wheaton Academy, remember your 3 S's. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay inside. We hope to see you soon, and that next time, hopefully, in person. Well, guys, cheers.